Hi friends, in this video we are going to deal with the case summary of the latest Supreme Court judgment pronounced now in the area of contract, especially matters involving a specific issue on readiness and willingness on part of the plaintiff must be framed by the trial court in a suit for specific performance. To know more about it, please watch this video fully. If it is helpful to you, please like, share and comment, and never forget to subscribe to it, and further click on the bell icon next to the subscribe button. In the important judgment titled V.S. Ramakrishnan vs. P.M. Muhammed Ali pronounced on 9th November 2022, the respondent, the original defendant, entered into an agreement to sell with appellant, the original plaintiff, for a consideration of Rs 52,500 per cent with respect to the disputed property. Rupees 1 crore was paid by the appellant to the defendant towards the earnest money, of which Rupees 65 lakhs were paid in cash and Rupees 35 lakhs were in the form of post-dated check, which came to be dishonored or returned for the reasons payment stopped by attachment order. Plaintiff offered to pay the amount of Rupees 35 lakhs in cash, but defendant refused to accept the same. The original plaintiff instituted a suit for specific performance of agreement to sell. The trial court dismissed the suit. On appeals, the Kerala High Court held that once there was no concluded contract between the parties for the sale of the suit property, as the post-dated check was written, the question whether there was readiness and willingness on the part of the plaintiff to pay the balance sale consideration does not arise for consideration. Being aggrieved, the plaintiff preferred the present appeals. The Supreme Court has held that it is required to be noted that at the time when the post-dated check was tendered, the same cannot be said to be worthless check. The post-dated check written by the bank was with an endorsement, that is, payment stopped by attachment order, as there was a raid conducted by the IT department and the bank account was attached, and therefore the post-dated check was written. However, the check was not written for the reasons of insufficient funds in the bank account. Therefore, the observation made by the High Court that the post-dated check was worthless check and tendering such worthless check cannot be said to be a payment towards part sale consideration cannot be accepted. Further, though there was no specific issue framed by the trial court on readiness and willingness on the part of the plaintiff, the trial court gave the findings on the same and non-suited the plaintiff by observing that the plaintiff was not having sufficient funds to make the full balance consideration on or before 12th January 2006. Such a finding could not have been given by the trial court without putting the plaintiff to notice and without framing a specific issue on the readiness and willingness on the part of the plaintiff. There must be a specific issue framed on readiness and willingness on part of the plaintiff in a suit for specific performance, and before giving any specific finding, the parties must be put to notice. The object and purpose of framing the issue is so that the parties to the suit can lead the specific evidence on the same. On the aforesaid ground, the judgment and order passed by the trial court dismissing the suit and refusing to pass the decree for specific performance of the agreement to sell confirmed by the High Court deserves to be quashed and set aside, and the matter is to be remanded to the trial court to frame the specific issue with respect to the readiness and willingness on the part of the plaintiff. On remand, the parties be permitted to lead the evidence on the readiness and willingness on the part of the plaintiff to perform his part of the contract, more particularly whether the plaintiff was ready and willing to pay the full consideration and whether the plaintiff was having sufficient funds and or could have managed the balance sale consideration.